Are you the kind of nerd who knows what side uses a different color lightsabers on Star Wars? Well, I'm kind of a nerd myself, but I had to look it up. You guys are making us look bad and making it tough for us to pull hot chicks. Welcome back to OG's Danger Show. Welcome back, original gangsters. Officer Greg out here with you to bring you something kind of special today. Before I get into that, I drive out here to the abandoned cartel runway today to find what? Look behind me here. There are a few things that grind my gears, like lazy motherfuckers who have to dump their trash out on places where the rest of us trespass and shoot. So now we got to figure out how to get 4 washer and dryers out of here. As many of you do, I come out here from time to time, sweep up brass and shotgun holes from idiots who don't clean up after themselves, just so that we don't get kicked out of this place, because it's not ours. But I come out this morning and find somebody has left washers and dryers out here. Good Lord. I swear to God. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. So we've added a lot of newer viewers to the channel lately, a whole lot of new subs, and I definitely appreciate you guys for that. However, it's been quite a while since we've done any little side features. And one of the side features I like to do is to feature little pieces of equipment that I stumble across every once in a while that really get me. They really stand out in the crowd, and definitely is a cooler piece of kit that I think definitely makes you a better fighter or a little bit safer out there in the world. This is a little feature I like to call 50 Shades of Greg.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. So the point of 50 Shades of Greg is to bring you products that I've stumbled across, that I buy with my own money, that I think are pretty cool, that make you a better fighter, that make you a little bit safer, that will enhance your either concealed carry or home defense situation, and possibly even help you out there on the road. I stumbled across a product recently that I hadn't even seen, and I'd heard of the company called Viridian Technologies. They're kind of known several years ago for coming out with a lot of green lasers. Green lasers for your pistols that are attached also with a weapon light. I guess science has shown that green lasers are actually easier for the eye to pick up. It seems counterintuitive. I've always thought red would definitely be easier to see out here, but something about spectrums and lights in our brains, and yeah. So green lasers are easier to pick up. Well, I recently stumbled across this product from Viridian Technologies. It's a laser handstop. It's called the HS1. Laser handstop. They did not send this product to me. I bought my own. Those of you who run rifles, and remember, if you're really cool, you got to say that you run a rifle. You don't shoot a rifle, you run a rifle. Those of you who run an AR-15 might know that a hand stop operates out front and gives you a little something to attach your hand to, whether it's to push forward or to pull back on, pull that rifle back into your shoulder. It's kind of like the forward pistol grips of old that so many places find illegal now, but these little hand stops are actually a little more low profile and a little more user-friendly. This one has an integrated laser sighting device. It's an M-LOK hand stop. It bolts right onto my M-LOK forend, and it's pressure activated, has a green laser we're going to test it out today, but evidently it's quite a bit more visible than a red laser. It's adjustable for windage and elevation with a little tiny Allen wrench that it comes included. And it's very ergonomic, and it's actually a pretty cool little accessory to go on the front of your rifle that doesn't add hardly any weight and no extra bulk to your rifle. We're going to do a little test in bright sunlight and in shadows and see what we can see with this green laser, and see if it's a good product or not, now that I've already bought it. All right, so I switched over to a little bit better lens here to show some close-ups, which reminds me, Patreon donors, if you're one of the Patreon donors of OG's Danger Show, I definitely appreciate your help. If you'd like to help out OG's Danger Show and haven't yet, the link is in the description to my Patreon site. But it's Patreon donors who helped me get this new lens, which is awesome for little bokeh shots where you're zoomed in on a product and everything else is kind of blurry. That's pretty cool. I want to thank you guys on Patreon for helping me out getting a little lens for this camera. That's kind of what it's all about. It's not to buy new tires for the truck and chocolate milk for the fridge. It's to help me get equipment out here for making better YouTube videos. So that being said, let's zoom down here and take a look at this product. I don't have anything in the box to show you other than what also comes with it. That's an empty box. Oh, they give you a 50% off, which is actually not a bad deal because some of their lights and lasers on there are in the $150 range. You get 50% off. You're doing pretty good on getting a little red laser for your pistol. Of course, that comes with a mandatory sticker, so you can go stick it on your neighbor's car. A manual, but we're guys, so we pretty much don't read this. We just try shit out until we break it. And then it comes with both little Allen wrenches that you're going to need to first install the rifle to your M-LOK hand grip. And then the adjustment wrench, little dinky thing, the size of a C hair, that is going to help you get the thing dialed in and on target. And then there's some kind of little warning sticker here that says this laser could accidentally kill someone, cut them in half if it ever touches anyone. So, oops, that thing blew away in the wind. Okay, first I want to show you how this thing is mounted onto the rifle. This is a standard M-LOK MOE 4-in. I'm not a big fan of long rails with all kinds of real estate. I pretty much like just a white light and a sling on a rifle, a red dot optic. This is the only thing that I might add to a rifle, this new Viridian laser light here. Now, this little hand stop weighs almost nothing, so it's not going to add any significant weight to your rifle. Mounted on your rifle, you want to mount it as far forward on your rifle as you can because you don't want that green laser blocked by either your sling swivel or your fingers or anything else that might be in front of it. So you want to mount it as far forward on your rails as you can. You'll also notice a little battery compartment easily accessible on the bottom of this 4-in. So you don't have to take it off, put it back on, and lose zero every time you want to change batteries in this thing. It takes a 1/3 in battery, which is fairly common. You can find them just about any CVS, Walgreens, wherever milk is sold. You might also wonder if the sling swivel is going to get in the way. Well, this sling swivel is soon to be removed anyway. I'm going to add an M-LOK quick release mount over here. But the sling swivel as is right now does not get in the way. Laser passes right through the middle of it. Does not get in the way of the green laser. If you had a sling attached to this, of course, all that hardware built up right there would block the path of that laser. So something to think about on your guns. You probably want to use some sort of a side-mounted sling attachment, which is usually better anyway for dangling that rifle on your body. You'll see here the little pressure switch, little green pressure switch, so you can't miss it, right behind the laser diode. This pressure switch is a pressure activated only. There is no lock for constant on, which I don't find to be a problem at all. Anytime your hand is forward on that rifle, your green laser is on. It's also enough out of the way that if you want to use your rifle without the laser, which is a lot of daytime shooting, you don't have to activate this with your grip. I'll show you here in a second, but I can hold this rifle just fine, and including using that hand stop without activating that laser. The rifle we're using today is my new Palmetto State upper, an MOE upper, snapped onto a loaner lower. I borrowed this loaner from a friend of mine because I didn't have a black lower sitting around. All my rifles are painted up, tan or some other hideous color. If you haven't seen the Bob Ross video, I'll put a card up here in the corner. I personally don't care about showing serial numbers on YouTube. I know a lot of people get their panties wadded about that. The last thing the government's going to do is start scanning gun videos hoping they can find some serial numbers so they can come knock on your door somehow and take away your shit. I personally don't mind showing my serial numbers online, but this guy might not want his on there, so it's taped off. This is where my hand falls naturally on this MOE hand guard, so it's very natural for me to grab that rifle right there and activate that laser. I don't subscribe to the C-clamp or C-grip or seat cushion or whatever kind of grip is the new and trendy grab for the day, just to make you look cool with all the other operators who run their equipment on YouTube. It's been a lot of years since I was cool or hot, despite what you saw in that 50 Shades of Greg intro. A laser on my rifle for inside the house distances actually makes this thing pretty usable. I tried this thing out in my house today, clearing some corners and moving around in the living room, and boy, everywhere that laser goes, that's where your eyes go. I'm like a cat. Except I have a job and don't lay around all day long. Lasers on rifles can also be helpful for unusual shooting positions. If I have to go in really close quarters, of course, most of you know that you want to tuck that buttstock up over your shoulder and shorten your rifle significantly. I can cut 10 or 12 inches off the length of this rifle and still make it perfectly usable as I go around tight spaces inside a vehicle or inside of a house. If I'm shortened up here nice and tight, I really don't have use of this red dot optic anymore, and I certainly don't have use of my full set of iron sights. But activating that little green laser right there, I can go all the way around my house, pointing that laser as my aiming device and put bullets wherever that laser goes. There you go. You saw it on the internet, so it must be true. Okay, the first targets I have set up for you today are about 20 yards away. They're in bright sunlight. They're actually turned away from the sun just a little bit to prevent getting glare on this camera, but we're out here in bright sunlight. We're going to see if that green laser is visible. Okay, at 50 yards, I'm activating the laser. I'm lining it up with the front sight. I am not seeing the laser at all down there. All right, my bad guys are down there at 50 and 52 yards away. I aimed in on them with this green laser in the brightest of sunlight, bouncing off that cardboard. Can't see the green laser. Obviously, that's not what it's made for out here. If I couldn't see those clouds with my green laser, I would obviously just adjust my dang sight up 1 inch, and I have an Aimpoint T1 Micro or my backup sights all ready to go. So I'd still be able to get the green lasers for a little bit lower light conditions or indoors. I will tell you, one of the things I've noticed about this, every time I grab my rifle, I tend to end up putting my finger right there. So if you run one of these, remember you got to run something to be tactical. I would probably store extra 1/3 in batteries up here in the pistol grip of my MOE grip, just so that I have them ready. I got CR123 batteries up there anyway. I got Aimpoint batteries up in there. So I would definitely keep Viridian laser batteries up in the grip of that, because I tend to grab this thing every time I pick up my rifle.
Many unbearable hours later.
So I came back out later in the day. This morning was too bright and getting harsh sunlight off of everything. So I'm going to try these out here in the afternoon with the afternoon sun to the west of us. See if we can't get a little bit better visual on the green dot. Now we're pulled back to about 20 yards. I want to show you here on the bad guy on the left. Green dot, center mass, green dot on the head. Guy on the right, green dot, center mass, green dot on the head. So I've got, without the harsh sunlight blasting on my target, I'm able to see that green dot out here still in broad sunlight. Let's load up a magazine and run some drills between those two heads. See what we can get. I'm going to put a couple of rounds on paper just to make sure that we're dialed in with the laser. Take a look. So slightly off from where I was trying to hit. Just dial it up and over just a hair. I'm going to tape up these holes really quick, and then we'll take a look at how this rifle does between multiple targets. I'm just going to tape up heads only, so we'll do headshots between two bad guys. Two bad guys, laser only, headshots only. Let's see what we can do. Bad guy number 1. Looks like he has 5 total headshots. Bad guy number 2. Bad guy number 2, 4 total headshots. I'll have to go back and count how many rounds I fired. Well, there we go. That's my review of the Viridian HS1. I appreciate you guys stopping by. Since the range day that was filmed in this video, I've finished out this rifle. And I think that the Viridian HS1 is one of the better pieces of equipment that you can add to your gun. It's not going to break the bank. It's actually going to run you about $125 on Amazon. And for the price, I think it's one of the better pieces of equipment you can add to your rifle and still keep it simple. I thank you guys for stopping by. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up down below. And until the next video, OG out.